Alright, everybody, how's it going? Milwaukee coming back at you once again, and today we're going to be discussing the television series Star Wars Resistance. Let's get into it. Now, way back when the show was first announced, I first saw the trailer for it, I was like, hell no, I am not watching that show. It looked like Poe Dameron leading a squadron of child pilots during the time of the Resistance, right? And I was like, who cares? Certainly not me, right? So fast forward all these years later, the show ran for 2 seasons. It was canceled because nobody was watching it, right? Who could have saw that one coming, right? I mean, just the animation, it just looked weird. It looked off. It wasn't what we were to come to expect from Star Wars animation, with like the Clone Wars and Rebels. It was just strange to the eye, and I was like, no thanks. But seeing as I am on this whole Star Wars Disney reading journey, post Return of the Jedi, sequel trilogy era, I came to the show and I was like, well, it's technically in a time I gotta watch it, and I gotta say I came away pleasantly surprised, if you could believe it. Basic premise of the show: you got Poe Dameron, Resistance member. He's like the only Resistance member. Him and Leia. Well, he takes a new Republic pilot named Kaz under his wing. He takes him to the space station called the Colossus on the planet Castellion, way out in the unknown regions. And he says, hey, Kaz, this is where you're going to be working for us, the Resistance. You're going to be here. You're going to be posing as a mechanic. And we just want you to feed us any intel you might hear on your stay. And that's the show. He flies off, and that's that. So we're following this character, Kaz, who gets taken in by this guy named Yeager, who just so happened to be a former rebellion soldier, fought at the Battle of Jakku, knew Poe's parents. So that's why Poe felt like he could trust Yeager and taking in Kaz, while Yeager is not officially resistance. He's sympathetic to the movement and Leia and all that stuff. So here we go. Now, of course, Yeager, he already has these other mechanics working under him. One guy, green guy, name of Niku. He's an annoying guy, but he's going to be your favorite character, I guarantee it. And then there's this other character named Tam, who I thought was his daughter because they share the same skin shade, them both of them being black. But she's just a random person that he took under his care because she has like a tragic backstory or whatever. But you can't blame a guy for thinking that, huh? Now, this show is unlike any other show that Star Wars has ever done because it's all set on one location. I could just see Dave Filoni sitting there in the writer's room going, oh, this is going to be our Deep Space Nine. Everything's set on this space station, this refueling station, where everything goes down, and we have all these recurring characters that run into Kaz, and they have all their storylines intertwined. This guy's in this episode, then he shows up 2 episodes later, and then he's back in the finale. It's like, okay, chill, Dave. The show's not that good. All right. Yeah. So to sum up the show as simply as possible, Kaz, he's a resistance spy. He gets sent onto this space station. That's it's not really a space station. It's like an oil. Think of an oil rig out in the middle of an ocean. That's what it is. It's a refueling station. It's the last refueling station of the Republic. It's right there on the edge of the outer rim. And on this side is the Republic, and on this side is the First Order. And so, of course, the First Order, they have interest in this refueling station. So they're always trying to make incursions. They're trying to go to Commander Doza and like, hey, we can offer you protection. Let us set up a platoon of stormtroopers here. We'll keep those pirates off your back. Because being this far out in New Republic space, the New Republic doesn't really have a presence there. And so the space station is always vulnerable to pirate attack. But we, the viewer, find out that it's really the First Order that's setting up these pirates to attack the refueling station in order for them to get a foothold on the refueling station by preventing the pirate attacks. And that's ultimately what happens slowly over the course of the season. So yeah, I couldn't have been more wrong about this show if I tried. I thought it was going to be Poe Dameron leading like child pilots against the First Order. But all the characters, they're I guess late teenage, I guess, if not early 20s. They don't really say their ages, but it's just the animation style that's a little bit off. Like the lighting is weird. It's always like coming out of left field. And it's like it's kind of like it's not really. I don't know if it's cel shaded or not, but like it just looks strange. Some of the lighting, but if you ask an animator, I bet you it's perfect stuff. And I'm just got an untrained eye. But yeah, Poe shows up every 5 episodes to do like a plot, episode. Then the rest are like filler stuff where you're learning about this character or that character and life on the space station. And I was surprised to find out that it's really a show about racing, of all things, right? Like all the pilots, they're racers. And if you're like a good racer, you get to live in the tower. And if you live in the tower, you like the best food and the best water and the best views. But you have to risk your life defending the station against the invading pirates. So it's not all, it's not all good. But like everybody on the station are trying to be a racer so they can make the credits to get off the planet or whatever. And yeah, I couldn't have been more wrong about the show if I was, like I said, if I tried. It's actually pretty decent. And of course, we have First Order officers. Captain Phasma makes a lot of appearances here. We got this new Golden Stormtrooper whose name is Commander Pyre. He's the Gold Stormtrooper. And then we got Elric Von Reg, who's the Red TIE Fighter pilot. It's like just generic villains, whatever. They show up for an episode or two. Really, just because they can't really do anything to Phasma, because Phasma has to survive for the movies. Well, whereas these guys could take their licks and keep on kicking or whatever. Speaking of the movies, the show does tie in with the Force Awakens here at the end of the season, with the destruction of the New Republic capital, Hosnian Prime, and so shit starts hitting the fan there, and leaves a pretty good cliffhanger, for season 2. Like I said, I just watched this show because it was part of the timeline that I was focusing on for my journey into Disney Star Wars. I couldn't really recommend it to someone who's not interested in the sequel trilogy era. Uh, like I said, it was a surprisingly decent show, a lot of humor. Sure, some of it was geared more towards children, but you can still laugh at it if nobody's around, am I right? Uh, Pretty enjoyable. I binged it in like a week. I'm actually looking forward to season 2, even though it's the final season and the show is canceled. But we'll see what happens with that. I give the show a 3 out of 5, right? It's not like 5 out of 5 material. It's not like Clone Wars territory. But it's not the worst I've seen out of Disney Star Wars, that's for sure. And if you give it a chance, you might be pleasantly surprised. And so that's that. Until next time, I'll see you there.